Hello.
Yo!
Let's go. Yes,
Get
sir. It's happening. It's
Fucking
happening.
happening. It's happening. It's
How you doing,
real.
bro?
Oh my god, I'm so good. I just took a nap. I feel recharged. I've got some kombucha.
Nice. Oh, nice. That's good for your guts. That's good for your
Yeah,
guts.
dude, I know. I've been on kombucha a lot recently.
I
Like
was
every day for the last 6 months.
my American friends was forcing me to drink kombucha. It's a acquired taste. It's
No,
acquired
definitely.
taste.
Like, it's kind of like I feel like it tastes bad in the beginning, but then like the more you drink it, the more you like it.
Yeah. It's not
It's
exactly
definitely
one of those drinks that I would expect from American people. You know, them very sugary
No,
drinks.
yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like definitely. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like there's a lot of people here who do like fuck with that kind of stuff, but then also like I don't know. It's interesting. I live in kind of like a hippie place. Like, there's a lot of kind of like weird like alternative people. So I feel
Where's
like
that? What's this
I
hippie
live
place?
I live in Vermont, which is like next to New York and like Boston,
Okay.
like new like northeast of the U.S.
Sounds bougie, Vermont.
It's very expensive to live here, which like
Yeah, that
not
sucks.
great. But it's
That
like beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like there's trees and shit everywhere. Like lots of
nature.
nature. I go outside. I can see deer. I can see fucking raccoons and skunks and shit. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
good for my brain. Like I like living here, but
yeah.
expensive.
We do see Vermont in your music videos. Then that's your locations, your
Oh
magic
yeah.
locations.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. All that. That's my real life. That's my real life.
Yes, sir. That's
I go
beautiful.
outside and I'm around. I'm surrounded by animals and trees and shit. It's good.
For the longest, I thought she was like Scottish or like from the UK with a weird American accent for some reason. I wasn't
No,
judging, you know.
that's very fair. I feel like I've only been to I went to Scotland one time for like a week a couple years ago, and it was very beautiful. Like it definitely I see like I'm like this reminds me of home, but like even cooler because there's like castles and shit. In
That's what I'm
Scotland.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Very whimsical, you know. Very beautiful and whimsical. Man, my people been asking for this, bro. I'm hella gassed to have you here. I'm hella happy, bro. I'm hella
Yeah, I'm
happy.
psyched we're finally making it happen. I know. It's like a
Absolutely.
long time coming. Long time coming.
Yeah. We own this. We own this to the people. So let's go. I wanna jump in your whole. I want your whole story. I want the whole background. Let's go. Let's go straight into it, man.
Okay.
You from Vermont, right?
Yes, sir.
So what was your favorite music growing up? Like, what was you listening to growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in terms of the music I listened to growing up, kind of like I feel like the like moments that like made me realize how much I appreciated music was like when I was probably like at like 11 or 12 years old. I remember I watched Tron Legacy, which was a Disney movie, but Daft Punk did the soundtrack, and I remember that soundtrack like changing my life because I like hadn't really heard electronic music like before that. I feel like, and I was like, whoa, this is like the shit. Like this is like the coolest thing I've ever heard. And I feel like from there I found a bunch of other electronic artists like through that, like fucking like Calvin Harris, Dead Mouse, like all that kind of shit. And so I think like that was really like for me the thing that kind of got me onto the wave of like really thinking about music and being like, oh, this is really like important to me. So like I think that kind of was the like the starting point. And then from there on out, I kind of got more and more into like electronic shit and like dubstep and like Monster Cat. I was listening to all that shit like in middle school. And then I remember when I was like, I think I was in like 7th grade, so I was probably like 13. I remember being like, we had to do this like class presentation of like what we wanted to like do with our life. And I was like, oh, like I want to be a music producer someday. Like I want to make music. And my parents were like, yo, you know, there's like production lessons like at our local music store. Like we can just sign you up for that. I was like, what? Like I thought you had to like
Oh,
be
that's
like
cool.
you had to be like 18 years old to make music or whatever because I was just a kid. You know, I was like, well, in my head, I was like, I don't know. I can't do this. I'm just a kid. But they're like, nah. So they like signed me up for production lessons. And I did that for a couple years. So like, I feel like I started producing when I was like probably 14 or 15. And then, yeah, like the rest is history. And like, you know, I think like I started with like dubstep and electronic music. Then over time, I think when I was in high school, I got a lot more into like hip hop. And like, I remember like Tyler, the Creator was like really big for me. Like Brockhampton, like a lot of that kind of like alternative stuff. And I got more into like the emo rap side of stuff too, with like a lot of like SoundCloud artists like Shinigami, like Lil Peep, like all that kind of stuff. Like I remember being like, oh shit, oh this is cool, because I think I also really liked. There's a lot of like synthetic elements that reminded me of electronic music over the more like dirty shit with like 808s and drums.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Even
like
the melodic lines the artists pick, they are very electronic. My question would have been like, so it's always been electronic music. It's not that you have like a rock and roll background or like more
Yeah.
or like rap. It's always been electronic music.
Yeah. For me, that's been the OG thing. And then I think like in a weird way, I like started with that, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna do more like rap, hip hop, singy stuff. And then I've kind of like over the last couple of years, I've been like going back to it, I'm like, oh, I actually want to reconnect with this genre that got me into like making. So like it's been getting more and more electronic for me. I feel like because I'm like, oh, I really like this. Like, why can't I just combine both of the things that I really like into like one thing?
Exactly. That's beautiful, man. Your passion from music comes from you watching a movie and like minding the soundtrack almost more than the movie itself. That's crazy.
I used to listen to that like on repeat. Like I would just listen to the soundtrack like walking around.
And first of all, I went through your latest EP, Nothing Is Off. Just from the intro, I could hear some Daft Punk influences, like in the electronic music, in the build up, in the melodies and stuff. Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you.
So you started making music from that, like lessons and course and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was like just a guy like at the fucking. It was like a Guitar Center store. Like there's one guy,
classic,
in his like 30s who like top production like. And I was like on FL, and he didn't know how to use FL. He used like I think he used like I'm pretty sure either Ableton or Logic. But he was like, I don't really know how to do what you want to do because he like made like trip hop too. He did like acoustic stuff and like trip hop. And so he was like, okay, like, and I'm like, show me how to make dubstep. He's like, I don't even know what this is. So we would just like watch YouTube tutorials like in like
together.
Yeah, exactly. And he would like figure out how to do the stuff I wanted to do. But I was like, he knew just as much as I did. I feel like he obviously knew how to produce, but like
he was more seasoned, like a little bit more of experience. Exactly. He was guiding. You went to the lessons knowing what FL Studio was, though. Like, how did you find out about FL Studio?
That's a great. I feel like I maybe just like I think I probably just looked up like what software can you use to like make music, and then like I think I just like chose one. I'm pretty sure. I think like I still say like it was because I had a Windows computer. I think if I had Mac, I probably would have been on Logic. Would be my guess. It's like I kind of like I fucked around with Ableton for like a couple months, like, and I know how to use like I know how to use Logic, I know how to use Ableton, I know how to use Pro Tools a little bit. I know how to use FL. Like I've touched every DAW at least for like a good amount of time, but FL is definitely the one that like I feel like. In terms of my creative process, like I connect the most with it. Like I like how messy it is. Like I'm like, what DAW can you have two of the like sounds on top of each other?
Yeah,
like, it doesn't make sense. But, like when you know how it works.
Oh wow, that's true. That's very fucking true, actually. Yeah. In Ableton, I figured the stuff like sounds has to be like so polished and like proper. Yeah. That's very true. That's very true.
And it's like it's so fun. Like it's like because it's like I really don't think FL is like the best DAW. I think my philosophy is like I think whatever one works best for you is the best one. Like I think there's pros and cons, but like especially nowadays, like everything you can do in Ableton, you can pretty much do in FL. Everything you can do in FL, you can pretty much do in Ableton. Everything you can do in Ableton, you can do in Logic. Pro Tools is the one that I'm like, okay, why? Why would you use Pro Tools? But I guess if you're like mixing and shit, like I don't know.
That's foreign land. I never seen Pro Tools in real life. It's like a legend for me.
It's honestly, it's not. It's fucked. I like for university, I studied music production.
Okay.
It's like also like I can totally talk about that too because like I feel like I have good insight on music education because I like have gone through the full.
Where was the college? What college you went to?
It was University of Hertfordshire in London, actually.
Oh. So that's cool.
I lived in England for like 2.5 years. So I do have there is some European background in my.
I see. You got some European aura to you. You got it.
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, it was only England, so like it's not like
we accept them. We still accept them as Europe. They still down here. They still down here with us. They are not escaping.
For sure.
Oh, but that's funny.
Yeah.
So 11 years old, if you fell in love with the passion, it was always music, your main passion, always been music.
Yeah, I feel like it's really funny. Like I remember just from being like a young kid being like, yeah, like making music is just like the thing I want to do. Like this is like why I'm like alive. Like this is the point of like my life. And being like, oh, that's so awesome that I figured that out when I was just a kid. And like it's still true. It's been like, I don't know, like 13 years and I still feel that same way. So I feel like I really like tapped into my like divine purpose or whatever.
And it's
I think just like the amount of joy that music brings me like every day of my life is like it's hard for anything else to like touch that. Like I'm like always listening to music or talking about music or like producing like music is just like always going on for me.
Your passion it shows a lot. It's you can really see it, and I feel like that's where it's gonna take you because you earn the respect of many people in many different ways. I feel like first from the skills, then from the persona, your personality, then with your actual music, with their artistry. So then and again with their like with being relentless. You're like you dropped 4 EPs in 2024, 2 EPs in 2025, right?
Yeah, two albums this year in 6 months. Last year I did one album and one EP, but in the span of a year, yeah, 2 albums and one EP. All self-produced as well.
It's a lot of music, and I see little to no feature, and the features are actually very added. Like it's proper stuff. I forgot the name of the song in your last project you dropped. There's a song with a female.
Yeah, World Keeps Spinning.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah. That's my friend Emma. She is like, we went to uni together and like we met during our 3rd year, and I was like, oh my god, like it's so I love just like working with like my real life like best friends. Like this is someone I've spent so much time with, and like
it's beautiful.
It's so like there's no I think better feeling than like working with like you're really good. Like that's how I feel. My friend Seymour the Seal, he lives very close to me in Vermont, and like we hang out I see him like twice a week, like every week. So like when we make music, it's like, you know, it's like both my best friend and also someone I respect as a collaborator. So it's like that's like my favorite thing, I think. It's like, yeah.
It's lucky to have that in your life, you know. So you gotta cherish it. You gotta realize you have it.
I think I didn't like even realize how nice it was until I started making more friends in real life who like did music. I was like, oh my god, like I feel like it just like unlocks a new level of connection with people when you're like, oh, we're not just really good friends. We also like make art that we both like.
You resonate.
No, big time.
You resonate, you know. It's you're on the same page. It feels different.
Sure.
So you met these people your best friends that you work with through college.
Yeah. So Ames, like Emma, who was featured on World Keeps Spinning, we were in the same uni class during like our final year because I kind of had a weird like. I took a gap year before I started uni.
The kombucha, I see the kombucha working.
I know. That's why I was like, I shouldn't have drank a carbonated beverage. My bad.
You're good.
But so after when I was in college, like uni, it was during COVID, so like shit was kind of weird. So I took a year off between my 2nd and 3rd year because everything was going to be online. I was like, if I'm paying for this, like why just do it online? There's no point in like going to school. So I like took a year, and that's kind of when I started doing like TikTok as well, was like during that gap year, so it worked out very well. But she was originally like a class below me, but then because I waited an extra year for my final year, we ended up being in the same class, which was like cool. But
I love the way this conversation is going because you are really painting a picture. So you started doing the social media stuff during the gap year. We gonna call it. You didn't want to like, and I totally respect that and see that. And it was a big point of discussion even out here in Europe. People wasn't going to university for people who was very mad of paying and stuff.
Yeah.
So you took that year and you made the best out of it. My question I marked was what was your music career looking like before social media? What was you doing? What was you expecting?
Honestly, I had no idea. Like, I legitimately feel so lucky that I was able to make TikTok work because, like, I have no idea if anything else would have ever panned out, like, for me, which is like a funny thing to say, but I feel like I really was kind of just like, I know I love this thing and I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm going to find a way to make it work, essentially. So, like, you know, I was doing some, like, freelance production work, some freelance mixing stuff. But that's, like, why I went to uni originally, was I was like, oh, I'm going to, like, go and learn how to do, like, mixing and mastering or whatever, and hopefully get, like, a studio job, and then I can just, like, produce on the side.
Very beautiful and respectful, wonderful life, you know, a dream.
Definitely. But also, like, not, like, so for my first 2 years of uni, I was doing, like, studio work. Like, that was the main thing I was focusing on. And then for my final year, after I had TikTok and shit like working and I was making money off it, I was like, I'm switching back to music production. I don't hate being in the studio and doing like mixing and shit, but I'm like producing is like the thing that I actually like.
It for sure it's very corporate to work in a studio rather than being creative and painting on a Canva, you know?
No, for sure. And it's like, I would rather work in music than in another field. Like, you know, I think I was like, as long as I can get a job that's related to like music, I'm going to be happy. But like, I'm much happier with where I'm at now. Than like, I think if
absolutely.
I was in the studio, I'd be like,
absolutely.
You know, but
it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. I always say it. Also because like in that during that particular year of the virus and shit, where everybody was locked down and like TikTok was popping off, everything was changing. Like everything was changing. Because I remember me making beats from way back. I remember cooking up something and being like, "Damn, I love this so much. I can't wait for people to hear this." And that "can't wait for people to hear this" would be like in weeks or a month for you, you know, to prepare, post on Instagram, whatever, fuck, drop, whatever. Now, bro, nowadays with the TikTok stuff, you make a beat in 30 minutes. I post it on TikTok, and it could have 50K views in an hour. Like it's insane.
No,
It's
it's
insane.
beautiful. And like that's like the thing that I've been even in the last year trying to focus more on is like doing shit just like I'm just gonna do something and just do it and then like and not worry as much about the I'd say the one thing for me is like albums and stuff are something I will kind of like sit with. Like I usually wait like about a year between making something and releasing it. Sometimes I do more impulsive stuff, but like everything else in terms of like social media posting, I'm like, yeah, like honestly, like I'm just gonna film this thing, post it right afterwards. Like how it does is how it does, and then like you know, I feel like drops in a bucket kind of mindset. You know, like I'm very on that wave of like, okay, you know, put in a little bit of effort every day, and then you know,
Yeah,
eventually it builds up. And
exactly.
But for sure.
Do you remember your first TikTok?
I think that's a great question. I remember like the most important like early TikTok I made. I can tell you the whole like background of how I got into TikTok, which is like kind of crazy cuz like one of my like I like owe it all to one of my really like good music friends who I've known for like a long time. So, I have this friend and her producer name is Maldate. And I remember like one day she was like, I'm sick of people making all these like shitty like tutorials on TikTok of how to like make hyperpop or whatever. She's like, I'm gonna make like a good one and just post it and it's gonna blow up. And I was like, okay, like we'll see. So she did it and then it got like 50,000 views or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, my friend that I know just like posted on TikTok and blew up. I'm like, wait, if she can do it, maybe I could do it. So I started posting on TikTok, but it was more like me trying to promote songs. Like it wasn't really doing anything for the first like couple months. Like, and I think I was still kind of figuring out my like format. But I remember I posted this one video. It was like how to do like 100 gex style vocals where you like pitch the beat down and then you record on it and then you pitch it back up to like make them sound high pitched. And that video got 10,000 views. And I remember being like, I am going to post on TikTok every day for as long as I physically can because I have had one video that I'm like, I am
They
not
started
gonna
him.
waste this opportunity. I was like, literally like, as soon as I got that first video that hit 10K, I was like, I'm gonna try to post every single day. And then just like I did that for like a year, basically. Like I was doing like 5 or 6 remakes a week at one point, and they were ass. They were so bad. Like going back, I watched some like, what was I doing? But I think I was just so focused on like I just need to build this up. I need to just like get the skills in and just like you know like. I'm glad I'm not at that point anymore where I can kind of take it a little bit slower and just do like the 3 a week. Because like I was like, oh my god, how did I have any energy or free time to do anything when I was turning out like 6 videos a week? I'm like, and they weren't that. I mean, they were okay, but I've gotten.
They worked. I'm sure they worked. I'm sure they worked. I got to see you. The very first time I saw you was the remake of this. I think Curtis beat T-Rex, you know, I don't wear no Patagonia.
Oh yeah! Oh my god, yeah, YT.
Yeah.
Shout out. Which is also like crazy. Like he in particular is really funny. Like I feel like seeing him blow up now with like all the jerk stuff. I'm like I remember like remaking this guy's beat when he was doing like plug and B or like whatever.
And he was swag the fuck out.
No, 100%.
Swag
I'm
the
so
fuck
happy
out.
he's like also blowing up. He's a very talented artist. I could tell back then too, but like I'm so glad that he's like built,
Yeah. He's you can see he's very smart with however he does with everything he does. You can see it. It's very cool artist. So the first TikToks were you promoting your songs. Why remakes? Why did you make remakes?
So I was asking myself this question a couple months ago because I was like, how did I even like? I can't even remember how I. So it's the start. I like started with like tutorials, and then I was like, okay, the place to go from here is to do like type beats. So I was like, here's how to make a beat like this producer. But it got to a point where I was like kind of running out of ideas. So I was like, I'm just gonna like kind of just like directly copy songs from certain producers to a point where it was becoming, I was like doing remakes, but I was just like, oh, here's how to make like a ginseng type beat. But I was like taking ginseng beats and trying to reconstruct them from scratch essentially. And so like I kind of just started like going in that direction, and then I was like, oh wait, this is actually like a thing that people are interested in. And I was like, oh, there's also not really anyone doing short form remake content, because I remember when I was younger, I like loved to watch people who did remakes, but they were always like 10-15 minute videos on YouTube, and I was like, oh, short form's really hot right now. This is kind of like a niche in the market that no one is like capitalizing on. So I'm like, oh, let's give it a shot. And then it kind of like, I remember I feel like the first one I did that was like really big to help. Like someone wanted me to do, it was an autumn song. I can't remember what autumn song it was, but like that was like when I first I think started, because I started really with just like a lot of like Blade and like SoundCloud rap stuff. But I wasn't really doing like Slay World. I wasn't really doing like Ken Carson, Playboy Cardi, all that stuff. But I remember like getting a request to do that autumn song. Like that's when I started unlocking like that new like underground rap audience. And I think from there I kind of like I found out a bunch of artists that I didn't even like know about.
I'm sure. And you make people find out about artists now, because you put people like you find a song that you really like, and you manage to build yourself a platform where you can use what you got to show other. It's insane. It's crazy.
Definitely, like that's like probably one of my favorite. Like I love the music sharing aspect of like what I do, because like I legitimately like I find so many good songs through people's like recommendations, and like I feel bad because like people will be like, oh, you should do this thing, and I don't end up remaking it, but I'm like I do end up just like adding it to my playlist because I'm like, oh, this is a good song, but like I don't have the. But I really do try to like only remake songs that I like actually really like and I'm like a fan of. Which I think it shines through. Like I think people can tell I'm usually passionate about the music.
Absolutely. Nothing, anything has ever felt forced or none of that, or like pushed or corporate. Maybe there's some slick ads in there with the
There's been a couple
my hat off, my hat off, dear. Great job.
I try to keep it classy still. I try to at least keep it in. I'm like, this is still an interesting and unique video, despite the fact that I maybe got paid a little bit to talk about this one thing. But.
Fantastic. And I love to see what it got to when it comes to the remake content, because way back in the day, I remember remakes was the only way of you learning how to make a proper beat. Like you either knew how to remake beats, or you could never like make an original song. Like it was like that. I remember making beats when we just started. Do you remember what was your first viral remake?
I feel like the autumn one might have been the first one that like did like. I feel like the first like viral. There's a couple early ones I remember. There's one Playboy Cardi song, might be Fall in Love. It has like some Purity Ring sample that's like reversed. That one did good. That one got like 100K. I remember being like. I remember also Ginseng Strip by Young Lean. We made that.
I think I remember seeing that video.
That one was also so bad too, because I literally just took the sample and then I put like the wrong drums. I like the pattern was right, but the drum sounds were completely wrong. But like that, yeah, I was like, I think I did a second version because I was like, I kind of did such a bad job with the first one. But yeah, both of those I remember hit like 100K, which was like. But.
So this next question topic, it's not even a question. It's more of a like. More of a message you got for other people, because you didn't let other people dictate your spot in what we got going on with the music. I don't even know what to call it, to be honest with you. But you didn't let people just take you as the remake guy or the Serum guy or the TikTok guy. You actually managed to be like you got your respect as an artist. How would you like? What's the best advice you got for somebody stuck in I'm just a TikTok producer situation?
I feel like the most important thing. I mean, I feel like it's like I don't know how helpful this is advice wise, but just like I think not letting numbers and like how people view you like affect how you view yourself. Because I think in my mind, I've always just been an artist, and like in the grand scheme of things, TikTok has only been the last 3 years for me, and I've been making music for like 10 years, so it's actually a pretty small percentage of my entire like artistic journey. But I think like not letting the labels people put on you like hold you down, and being like, no, this like if I'm really passionate about this other thing, just continuing to put that work in, and like I think there's always a way to make it happen, I think it's just about not getting discouraged, and I think continuing to kind of pursue the things. And like, even if it's like you're getting negative feedback from people, you're like, I don't know, just doing it for yourself, I feel like is the most important thing. Because I think also when people like see that you're doing it for yourself, they're like, okay, he's not just doing this because he's trying to be whatever. Like, oh, I can tell this is what he actually cares about. I feel like people really, especially nowadays, I think can recognize authenticity and value that a lot on the internet. I think there's a lot of kind of like inauthentic things that you can tell people are just doing something because they want a cloud, or they want like, they want to sound or look like a certain person. So I think when people see things that they like, oh, this is unique and this person is clearly just doing what they want to do. Like, I think there's a lot of value behind that. So
absolutely. And not only
keep going, always keep going.
Always keep going. And not only that, but like you show your ways, and you make people a part of the process. So they got even more reason to be passionate, like to share. There you go.
No, for sure. Yeah, I'm very like anti gatekeeping. That's like a big thing. I feel like, I love I don't think like showing the process takes away. I think if anything, it makes people feel more included in the process as well, because they're like, oh, now that I know what's going on behind the scenes, I'm like invested in it personally.
Because there's also a lot of people that don't even make music that consume this type of content. They are interested and they like to watch and stuff. So
no, for sure. Which is crazy to me. Like, I think that was something I would not have like predicted when I started. Is like the amount of people who watch who don't make music and are just like, oh, I just like learning about like what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. That's very cool. That's very cool. You got a Splice pack out.
I do have a Splice pack out. Yeah.
How did that happen? That's cool. That's very cool.
Literally, it was so like, I was like, I bet you I can do this. And then it just like basically happened. So I have a couple friends that have released with the Moment label in past, where I was like, people I like know well and have worked with before. So I pretty much just like hit them up and was like, hey, I don't know if you guys like know who I am, but like, I do TikTok stuff. I also make music, blah, 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 blah. Here's like all my socials. Like, I know like a couple of the people who have released packs under the Moment label. I would love to like be a part of this, if you're interested. And they were like, yeah, send some like demo stuff. I had like always tons of like melodies and stuff kicking around. And so I was like, yeah, like, like I sent a couple demo things and like, cool, it sounds good. And then we just made it happen. It was like surprisingly very like, I think like it's kind of amazing how many awesome things can happen to you if you just ask. Like, just like don't wait for people to come out to you. Like, I think it's like putting yourself out there is really important, because like there are way more opportunities available for you than you realize. And like if you just wait for people to reach out to you, like a lot of stuff will never happen.
Also, like people are kind. They will help you.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like
people is nice.
It's like something that's mutually beneficial too. It's like very like, I think people underestimate like, yeah, there's a lot of just like great people who want to just do cool stuff. Like, so I don't know.
And also the whole pack, the whole kit matched your vibes, your aesthetic and all that. It was a very cool thing to see on Splice, to be honest.
I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. Like, basically, like, all those melodies, like, those are, like, the things I'm probably the most proud of, is, like, all the melody loops. And those were, like, literally, I think, like, I made, like, a melody, like, every day for, like, 6 months. And then just, like, chose my favorites and then just, like, slam those in there. So I'm like, those are good melodies because I spend a lot of time making them. Yeah. So I'm like happy that they're kind of out in the world and like.
And they will forever be out there because Splice is it's the biggest platform for samples and loops.
It's beautiful. Every once in a while, I'll like Shazam them to see if like I can find any, like, stuff that you said, which is like a fun.
Oh, that's a flex right there. I mean, you got a shorty with Shazamming your loops and see what comes up.
It's a good thing. I feel like there's probably a better way. I feel like I've seen TikToks of people doing it before. I feel like there's probably a better way, but like it's fun to be like, there it is.
I know about companies that will scrape the internet. You put the loop into their website and they look for a song. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
That's super cool.
I see your projects, they always have a very precise direction, very cool. You always painting pictures with your project. What are your favorite projects? What are they?
Of my own or of other artists?
In the whole music planet.
Yeah, I'd say like always the person that's like setting the standard for me has always been Young Lean, I would say, in terms of like my biggest inspiration, like not even just musically, but in terms of like world building. Like I remember pretty much where I got like my whole swag of how I do everything in terms of promoting, like came from him. I remember when he was dropping his album Stars, like in the like 14 days leading up to it, he dropped a visual, like a 30-second visualizer for every single song building up to the release of the album. I remember being like so hyped. So I was like, oh shit, like I'm seeing visuals for each song, like this is like painting a whole picture. And I was like, I just want to like be able to capture that and like not just have it be a piece of music in the world. I want people to see like the vision, the like images and stuff that I associate with these songs, and like kind of like not just having it be an album, but like like world building. I just love world building. Like that's my favorite thing. Like when there's an album where I feel like I can like climb inside of it and like live inside of it rather than just hearing it. Like that's like my favorite thing in the world. So I think I'm always kind of like trying to chase that feeling that I get from other artists, I would say.
That's inspirational, brother, right there. That's beautiful.
Thank you, thank you.
I wanna hear this, okay? I got this question. I bet everybody be asking you about Serum, what's good, this and that. I wanna hear from you. If you gotta pick one, if there even is one, what's say one bad thing about Serum?
It's so hard. I like one bad thing about Serum. I don't know. That's really hard. Like that's like asking me like my mother, like what's a bad thing about my mother? But that'd be an even easier question, honestly. Serum has been there for me for 10 years. I remember when I got my first paycheck serving ice cream when I was 15 years old. That was the first thing I ever bought, like synthesizer wise. And like that was like the first external VST I had, which is also why I just use it for everything, because I've been using it for 10 years. It's like I know it like the back of my hand at this point. So
damn.
Yeah.
So
you like that's like the thing. Those people are like, oh, why Serum? I'm like, I just know how to use it the best. Like it can do all the things I need it to do. And I think you can argue that most synthesizers can all kind of do the same things. It's more just about the individual, like, oh, this one has this extra functionality. But I feel like Serum is just so good for just like wavetable synthesis. Like it just when I want to make a sound, I can in my head just see how I do it in Serum like immediately. It's like it just happens. But one bad thing. It's a hard question.
Maybe there's not even one.
Sometimes it glitches and will crash my computer, but not very often.
Serum 2 doesn't lag on your computer?
Okay, this is like some hot gossip. Are you ready for this? I don't use Serum 2. I use Serum 1 still.
I will see why. Yeah. I swear. Serum 1 sexy as a motherfucker. Serum 2
and it's just like it's like a calculator. Like you don't need a fancy ass calculator. Like if you have a calculator that can get the job done, like I don't need all the extra.
Serum 2, it's very user friendly. It's very TikTok producer friendly.
No, for sure. And like
that's why they just dropped it. I feel like
I've messed around with it a lot too, and like there's a lot of cool stuff. But I'm also like when I just want to like make something, it's like my brain is not calibrated to it yet. Where I'm like, oh, I know I can just like open it and do the thing I want to do. Like it's a lot more messing around for me versus Serum 1 is like, yeah.
True. I see exactly what you mean. Serum 2, it's kind of confusing. Serum 1 looks like surgical, like it's extremely precise.
Exactly. Yeah, I know it like the back of my hand. I know where all that. I could make sounds in there with my eyes closed.
Insane. They own you, man. I saw how they incremented the Serum 2 in the Serum 2 presets. A lot of content creators, and I was expecting you, and I didn't see, and I was like, wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I have nothing. I'm not gonna say anything about that. I'm not gonna say anything about it.
Get messy.
Okay, I'm the messy one. He's the nice one. I'm the messy one. It's okay. Okay, you got 4 roads in front of you. Sine, saw, square, triangle. Where are you going?
Sine.
Oh, okay.
Sine.
Okay.
Signs are everything. Everything is signs.
Oh, yeah. Sign is just the cleanest, and then you build on it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like if I had to choose a second, I would say saw, probably. I do love saw waves. But signs, I think, are always... They just sound so clean. It's just like the cleanest. And you can do everything with them. I don't know.
True. I know some producers will say the saw because it's the richest in harmonics.
That's true. It's hard to pick. It's really hard to pick.
Yeah. Some producer will say square, but that's only because they got like a 15 inches cock in their pants, and they gotta let it hang, some way, one way or another.
Like it's square. Square waves are good, but like it's a lot. You're maxing out the fucking. It's the loudest sound you can have. Like okay.
They are very intrusive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, square waves. Like I respect it, but I'm like it's doing a lot. There's a time and a place, but it's doing a lot.
What's your favorite plugin besides Serum?
Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, like I would say it's not a specific plugin, but the Sound Toys bundle I would say, with like tremolator and like all of those kinds of things. I'm a big fan of. I use those quite often. I would say in terms of like synthesizers, I'd probably say Analog Lab because I think Analog Lab has. I'm very much a big fan of like
Any
the
plugin, to be honest.
sound.
Any plugin, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, I'd say Analog Lab probably is my like other go-to in terms of like when I'm looking for presets. Because like in Serum, I don't really use presets. I basically just do everything from scratch. But like Analog Lab, I think has like my favorite sounds when I don't want to make a sound. Like I think it has very beautiful presets, and I also just like how good the emulations are of like classic vintage synths. Because I think I've always loved the idea of having like analog synthesizers, but also like I am such a like in the box computer person. Like I don't use that much external gear. So I think just like being able to pull up these beautiful like sounds that are like very reminiscent of those like old like 80s vintage synths and just have it like on my computer, like it's very big fan.
So, Analog Lab versus Roland Cloud, you pick Analog Lab?
I would say Analog Lab, yeah. So again, I think biased because I haven't messed around as much with Roland. I have I think SRX World, which is like something that they do. It has guitars. I used to guitar.
It's a rectangle.
It is a rectangle. A lot of the Roland's things are rectangles.
It's a rec. It's a rec, right? Those things exist in the real planet. Like those things.
Yeah, they're like the fucking boxes that you get, and then you like. I still like. I want to get some of those someday, but I'm like, I don't even like. It's just they're so funny. You just press the button, you go to the next preset.
Yeah, you got buttons in there. Yeah.
For sure.
You got physical serum. They gotta make that. They gotta make the serum rec.
I know. I've seen people like make like mock-ups of it.
Oh yeah, the 3D models, like the iPhone 7 made of glass, all of it, on the edges. I don't know if you remember that.
It's this tall.
That's insane, man. That's insane. Let me see if I got some community questions. I know they got some. Let me see. They sending memes too.
Amazing.
Do you play Clash Clan Royale?
No, I don't play Clash Royale.
Okay, they were asking.
I don't really play like that many video games. I play Night Rain and like Dark Souls and shit. Like that's like the main. Those are like the main games I play. But I wish I played more video games, honestly.
RPG game. That's an RPG game.
Yeah. You give me a big fucking sword, rolling around fighting. Shit, like.
You didn't play the new Skate game?
No, I've been seeing so much footage though.
Man, I'm hooked.
It seems really interesting. I've seen a lot of good videos on Twitter where I'm like, this looks crazy.
It's very glitchy. It's funny for 20 minutes and then you bore and then it's whatever.
Yeah. I know, that's the thing. I'm like, I feel like I buy more games than I actually play is the problem. I'm like, why did I buy this and then play it for an hour and then never touch it again? Like,
they ask Kelpie, our top hated member of the Messi community, asks, who's your favorite producer?
Oh, I'd say it's a hard question. It changes a lot. Probably White Armor, I would say, who's like Blade's main producer. Like, I think he, like, for the last probably 3 or 4 years has been my favorite guy in terms of just like everything. Just like, I don't know. It's amazing.
Very heavenly melodies and digital.
So beautiful, but also like the diversity of the stuff he produces as well. Like I feel like I've heard him do so many different genres in a way that all still sounds like his own music, and I feel like that's kind of the way that like his music makes me feel. And like that's how I want my music to make other people feel, essentially. But yeah, he's the go. Honestly, everyone like associated with like Drain Gang and Young Lean, like all those prods are just like probably my favorites. I would say like just the shit they do is like it blows my mind.
I got me thinking, how crazy is it that like you get energy from somebody and the first thing you want to do is just spit it back out for somebody else? How beautiful is that? Because then like you process it your own way and then you push it out and then they process it their own way and then they push it out.
No,
it's beautiful.
I remember I saw like a Young Lean interview a couple years ago where he was like, no art is made in a vacuum, but like that's the beautiful thing is like if you live an interesting life, like you could take a song you love and try to make the same song, but just because of how you hear it and the parts that you focus on in your life, like it'll end up sounding completely different. And like I think that's so great, and like I love that mindset of like taking the things you love and then putting them through your own personal filter and then spitting them back out, and then it's not even recognizable half the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's so many songs where I've been like, I made this song directly inspired by this other song, but no one will ever be able to figure that out unless I tell them, because like the way that my brain would make that song is completely different than the way that the original producer like would, which I think is cool.
Yeah, it takes me to the saying what they say: good artist copy, great artist steal. Because like they completely take it and they make it theirs. Like that's what stealing is. You know, I take it and now it's fucking mine. This shit
No,
mine.
exactly. No,
You know,
exactly. Exactly.
obviously with respect. You know, because you still putting out good energy. You're not
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, and like
fucking
putting your own
steal.
spin on it too. I think the
Yeah.
thing is like, if you're a good artist, when you're stealing from someone else, it'll still sound unique and cool and interesting in like its own way. You know, I think like people who aren't as good, it's a little more obvious what they're doing. But
One question I didn't write it down, but it's coming in my mind right now. I remember one content of yours where you were showing how to make music from anything. You know, randomizing in C
yeah,
major, transposing,
yeah.
that was a beautiful beat you made.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's like my probably one of my most hated videos. Like that video pissed people off or something. I'm like, I don't even think it sounded that bad. But like,
No, the bounce. It's like super simple. It's one of those. It's one of those vibe catchers. You know.
mhm.
How did you build your process, and where does that process comes? Where does the process come
Yeah,
from?
that's a great question. I'd say a lot of it for me, I very often do not have like an idea when I start making music. Like it's pretty much like I'll open FL and just like open a synthesizer that I'm feeling, and then I'll just kind of start messing around. And then normally like as soon as I get one solid idea in, that's where it kind of starts for me. Like I end up, I feel like I'm almost inspired by the process rather than like other things. So it's like, oh, okay, I made this melody. Okay, let's try reversing it. Let's try adding these effects. Let's try chopping it. Okay, cool. Oh, I like this. Oh, I hear this next thing in my head. What if I add this lead that sounds like this? So I really don't have a plan most of the time when I'm like creating, but it's very I call it very much just like chasing the dopamine of like, okay, what is the thing that is making me what makes me excited? How can I continue to like do that and follow that, and then it just turns into a full song essentially. But I very often am just like, I'm just gonna open FL and just see what happens. Like I feel like I know people who are like, oh, they'll record ideas in their phone for like on voice memos, like, oh, I want to do this progression, blah blah. I'm like, no,
No.
I'm just gonna start making music, and then whatever happens happens. Sometimes it's shit, sometimes it's great, but you don't know until you try.
Yeah. Sometimes you start a new file, you save just and you never
Right.
open the project again.
Exactly. And
I
then sometimes you
see.
just make the best thing ever. I think I would say the one big thing for me that I started doing a couple years ago is trying to, if I start something that I like, trying to finish it in the first like day. I think that has been the biggest thing for me in terms of making songs that I like, is like not waiting too long to work on things, and like especially with vocals too. Like if I'm making a beat and I get an idea for vocals, like trying to record all of the vocals in one session as opposed to like spacing out and coming back to it. Because I think a really big thing for me and the way I get about making music is like it has to be exciting for me to like want to do it. So I think when I wait too long to come back to things and then I don't like them as much, it's very hard for me to finish things. So I think like if I get a good idea, I want to just like hammer it out and just get it done like as quickly as possible, essentially, because that's how I think I make a lot of my best songs. But
I see a lot of my way of doing things and of thinking things, because if I don't record, if I don't finish exactly the whole vocal, I tend to not finish the song. I tend to not like the song anymore. I'm like, I'm not even gonna finish it. So yeah,
well, because it's
finish it.
so it can be really hard. I feel like to recapture the energy you had when you were making it too when you come back to it later, because you're like, oh, I forget how I was feeling, or like your voice might sound a little different that day, and you're like, it's
Songs are
like
a moment in time.
no,
It's literally a moment.
it's like a diary. You're like capturing. It's like a snapshot of like what's like going on in your life at that time. So
I think I know. I think I know what's your your stance on this. But
mm,
what do you think of AI in
that's a
music and in creativity?
that's a good question. I think AI that steals people's jobs is not cool. I think it's very, I don't know. It's interesting. I think the environmental impact, obviously, not a big fan of how it's not good for the environment. I would say I am especially. I would say that the thing I'm the biggest against is like companies that just scrape data like unconsensually and then just like spit that out and like, oh, here you can like we're just taking thousands of people's songs and then just making songs from them, but no one's getting paid, no one's getting credited. Like that shit is like double thumbs down. I think there are cool uses for AI. I think especially when you're doing stuff that involves what's it called, your own like building your own models that like analyze your own data, like, and also like stem splitting. Like I love that kind of thing. Like I think that's really cool. But I think there are definitely ethical ways to do it. But I think it's like a lot of it is not. I'm not a fan of how this is going down. Mainly just because it's stealing from artists and like not people aren't getting credited, people aren't getting paid, and it's just like I don't know. These big companies are just making money off of like people for nothing. Like that's not cool. That's
Yeah. A lot of work pro bono by people that deserve the
yeah,
actual.
especially like it's harder than ever. I feel like to be an artist and make a living, and like the fact that you're like, yeah, sure, there's nothing wrong with just taking this stuff from people and then like making a shit ton of money off of it too, and destroying the environment at the same time. I'm like, bro, not cool. Just like hire artists. I'm such a big just like hire people. Like there are so many cool artists out there that want to make cool art for you, that want to write songs for you, that want to like animate things for you. Just like pay people, because then also the quality will be way better too. Like I don't know.
Yeah, AI videos are kind of the AI music videos are insane. I see some AI reels to promote restaurants nowadays.
I know, and I think I just also don't think it's gonna age very well. Like I think like in a couple years, people are gonna look back and be like, oh, you can tell this like when this was made and like what it looks like. Like I think it's gonna be kind of tacky. I think in a couple of years, like I don't think it has as much or nearly as much artistic value as like actual human created art. But I do think you can do weird shit with it though that I like. With, like in terms of production stuff, like I am a fan of like weird shit you can do with it, but I don't know.
NATO asks, what's your favorite era of music?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, it changes all the time. I'm definitely like a big like cloud rap, like 2017, 2018, 2019. Like I feel like also just like peak hyperpop was really big for me too. I feel like in like 2020, 2021, like I feel like when like COVID was going on and just like all these people who like didn't really know how to make music were just like putting stuff on the internet and just like breaking all the rules essentially because they didn't know how to do it. Like I think that was such an exciting time for music in general because you had so many people who like didn't have backgrounds in how to do it and we're just like 15-year-olds just like recording in their basement. But like that's how good shit gets made. I think is like when people aren't aware of the rules that they're breaking, so then they make the most interesting stuff. So I'd say like 2018 the current time, honestly, probably.
Not Found asks, how do you feel about having a placements with Clayco and Lone?
Yeah, crazy. Like we legit didn't even know that was gonna come out until like the day it came out, which was like kind of insane. But very cool to see. Like it's cool to have there be an artist that I remade songs for and now I have produced a song. And it's also like that whole album is so good. Like I've been listening to it a lot, just like but yeah, honestly, I'm very happy about it. Like again, a thing that I didn't know was gonna happen until like the last second.
What's the story behind it?
So essentially, I think it's okay for me to talk about this. It's not like super. I don't think there's anything like. But there was a sample on the original track that they couldn't get cleared. So the beat had already existed, and then Led Blunt and John, two producers who worked on it with Clayco, hit me up and were like, "Hey, we need you to make something similar to this sample for this song. Like, would you be down? Also, we need it in like 4 hours. So, like, can you please, like, it was like 11 o'clock at night. I remember.
Of course.
Like, can we have this by 3 a.m.? And I was like,
of course it was. Of course.
Fuck it, of course. Which is
they need by 3 a.m. It's obvious.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So they hit me up, and I basically was like, cool, I'm going to lock in and just like, and so I just, like, for 3 hours, just like, try to create something that sounded like similar to the original sample. And then I sent it, and they're like, cool, we'll let you know if anything happens with it. Like, 2 months went by, and then on Twitter, Destroy Lonely posts the song, and I was like, oh, I think this is my version, the one that we did. And then we're like, we don't know, let us double check. And they're like, okay, yep, that's the version. And I was like, okay, is it going to be on Spotify? We don't know. And then it's on Spotify. It's like, okay. So very, like, we had no idea what was going on, but, like, very, very cool. Like, honestly, like, you know, a huge, like, easily the biggest thing I've probably ever had happen to me in terms of my career, like professional wise, which is very cool.
Yeah, the producing side of your career.
Exactly. But shout out to John and Led Blunt. They're both very nice. And I really appreciate them reaching out to me as well personally.
Hey, I can remake stuff too. I swear to God. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm not...
hit this guy up. Hit him up.
No, 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 no. I'm kidding. This shameless. The shame.
No, use it. Listen, like I said, you don't know what opportunities exist for you until you ask for them.
What does your master chain look like? Are you fat master or skinny master guy?
Skinny master. I soft clip or OTT. That's it.
OTT or master?
OTT on 10%. Always been doing that for like a long ass time. And then recently, in the last couple years, soft clip before that. Sometimes, if I'm making a really like fucked up distorted beat, I'll use MoMA before the soft clipper, which is just like, I think it's a glue compressor emulation. It's like a free plugin though, but it's very good for that like crunchy. I remember, I think I heard about it because Filthy uses it a lot. And I was like, oh, it sounds, you know, that like just like when you want shit to sound super distorted and blown out, like it's good for that kind of sound. But
you have a song in your new project that has a section that's extremely blown out like that.
Oh yeah, that was a fun time. That's probably the most automation I've ever done in a project file in terms of like I can't even remember the actual chain. I feel like it was like a mix of just like crazy bass boost into like a blood overdrive, and then just like gaining it down like 20 dB because that was the thing. I was like, I wanted to be really distorted, but obviously not just like clipping.
Make
I
it
want it to sound
listenable.
like it's clipping. Yeah. Like I think if you look at the actual waveform too, I think that section is actually quieter than the rest of the song, which is really funny. Because like the perceived loudness I think is a lot higher. But I don't know. Shit's interesting. But yeah. I'm a big fan of distortion, things being blown out.
Because with a sound design guy like yourself, you know, you can expect anything, especially master chain, in chains, like in mixing.
Oh, for sure.
You could expect anything on the master. You're keeping it how you say conservative. You're being like polite with the master.
And I think like I mainly just like I think I try to approach mixing and all that stuff like you do it before you get to like the master should really just be like cleaning it up. And like when I'm like making a song too, like I'll usually use like ozone with just like a limiter, but like I try to not do too much in mastering and just get it all like, you know, level while I mix. Like I try not to have everything be like separate stages. Like I'm trying to make it sound good as I'm doing it, so I don't have to do problem solving later. Because that's also I hate doing that. Like I hate having to be like, okay, I don't like how this mix sounds. How can I fix this? And like, okay, I don't know. Like definitely trying to keep it as simple as possible for myself.
Do they teach stages in college?
Yeah, a little bit. Like they definitely like I feel like the idea of like game staging and stuff was like kind of I honestly don't remember much about it though. It's just like
so college is good for connection experience, you know, getting your hands in the dough a little bit, and you know.
Basically my whole take on it is like if you can afford it and you have the time and energy to do it, it's a great way to meet people. It's a great way to like learn stuff that you maybe didn't know you didn't know. But like I would not say going to like college for music is a reliable way to like know that you're going to succeed off of it. Like I think it has to very much come from you. I think also a lot of the connections you'll make in school, like you have to be showing up and you have to be going to events, you have to be talking to people, you have to be going to meet companies and stuff. Like it's not going to just be. It's easier because the school has connections, but like I think you definitely have to put in the work to like get stuff. Because I know people I graduated with that still don't have like it's been like 3 or 4 years and they still don't have jobs in music, and it's like, you know, paying all that money and then not even getting a job in the field you want. Like, you know, I like at that point, I mean, not saying that like I don't think you think it's worth going, but like I think you can everything that I have done that has led to me having the career I do now has been stuff I taught myself or learned on the internet for free. Like there are so many resources online where I think it is absolutely not necessary to go to school. Like I think if you want to be a producer, you can learn how to do that on the internet for free by watching Thayer period on TikTok.
Hey, I co-signed it. I stamped it. That's actually true. Do you know about Rex V2 Majin's soprano, the step team? Do you know about step?
Oh yeah. I know step team. Yeah.
You fuck with step?
I do. I love. Yeah. Ivy's also right. Ivy's.
Ivy's. Yeah. Oh my bad.
Yeah. Shout out. Yeah. Shout out Majin's. I've been like listening to his music for like a couple of years. Yeah, I love Step. Step is so cool. Like it's so like, it's very refreshing. I think like I haven't heard anything that's quite like it. The thing is like I want to hear more rappers using those beats though. Is the thing. Like I feel like there's not that many people hopping on step tune beats, which makes me sad because the songs I've heard that are on like actual step beats are so cool. I'm like, I need more people who are like doing this kind of shit. I don't know.
It's very I feel like it's very producer music kind of stuff.
No,
But
for sure.
Majins is one of my go-to artists to listen to and vibe nowadays when I want to smoke and just chill or
No,
play
he's so
Xbox.
good. He's such a good, he's like vocalist too. Like he's someone I think he's equally as good of a vocalist as a producer. Which is
It's
like,
just
he's a fucking
vibes.
crazy producer too. So like,
Yeah. Stupid.
for sure, for sure.
I feel like we're done with the question segment. They asked me to show you like stuff like this. This is me Buzz Lightyear version.
That's amazing.